What is up, Finn fans? Straight from the phone. It's late, midnight-ish, but news broke about 20 minutes ago. So let me talk about the original news that broke today around, 8 o'clock. Tom Brady unretired. Sorry. My apologies. I said I wouldn't call him by that name anymore. Brett Favre 2.0 unretired. I was going to make a video about it. So I don't care. Cool. You unretired. Fantastic. I think we all saw this coming because why not? That's my reaction. Honestly, I didn't really care. He probably saw the changing and the momentum swing of quarterbacks in the NFC. Russell Wilson's gone. All these trades are happening, yada, yada. So he's probably like, screw it, let me give it one more shot. Or he sat home for about 2 months, give or take, and got bored and was like, you know what, I want to try one more time at the age of 9,000. So he unretired. Again, I was going to make a video about it. I don't care. It is what it is. He's probably, and this is why I guess you can say I'm a little bitter, because I'll get to the reason I'm bitter. But they made the fanfare for him, right? He retired. Oh, it's greatest of all time. First ballot Hall of Famer. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to remember all the, Tom Brady moments. Let's make all the documentaries for Tom Brady, yada, yada. Well deserved. I'm not going to be that bitter and that blind to not realize how great of a quarterback he is. And then he unretires. He's like, oh, you know what? You can take all that fanfare and you can shove it. I'm coming back for another year or two or three. Screw it. Call me Vinny Testaverde 2.0. So he's back. That's not what chaps me. What chaps me is he comes back and Ryan Jensen decides to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. They bring him back. 3 years, $39 million. So that's like what? Around $13 million a year, which I was expecting the Dolphins to pay him. He even tweeted out, says, well, I guess I better order some baby powder with him and Brett Favre 2.0. Yeah, and just so you know, if I say Brett Favre while I'm talking about Tom Brady, it's on purpose. People are going to be like, Doug, you said Brett Favre. I get it. It's on purpose. Brett Favre 2.0. So now that Ryan Jensen's off the board, again, he signed a 3-year, $13 million a year contract. It's like, all right, well, now who are the Dolphins going after? I'm hearing good things about Collins, but again, don't get your hopes up when it comes to these things. But I'm hearing good things of hopefully if they can't trade, if the Cowboys do release him, they'll get Collins. Hopefully he can play right tackle, really help the offensive line. I want 2 vets on that offensive line. Jensen was my number 1 on the free agent market. This is why I don't put all my eggs in one basket, because then I get really bitter. I get real upset when we don't land them, and we didn't land Jensen because Tom Brady, Brett Favre 2.0 is just the worst. So I'm looking at other top free agent centers, right? And there's some out there. Like this one I'm looking at, he's going to be 33. That's Ben Jones from the Tennessee Titans. He's a starting center in zone-heavy scheme. Battle-tested, reliable. Jones is one of the best starting centers in the league. He does his best work in zone-running games. That's what the Dolphins will be running. But he's capable of playing in any system, and he has experience playing guard if needed. He's graded very well on PFF. In 2019, he had 79.3, 2020, 78.6, and last year, 76.4. It went down. Him compared to Ryan Jensen. Ryan Jensen last year had a 68.7. Ben Jones had a 76.4. So to me now, I'm targeting Ben Jones. Ben Jones has a contract of 3 years, $6.6 million a year. So it's a 3-year, $20 million contract, $12 million guaranteed from what PFF is saying. He's up there in age. He's going to be 33, but you bring him in and then you start to eventually bring in his successor. Him or Brian Allen from the Los Angeles Rams is another one. He's 26, going to be 27. Starting center in zone heavy run scheme. Allen has been one of the better zone run blocking centers in the NFL. In his 2 years has started with Los Angeles, helping mask a below average pass blocking profile. His best fit is an offensive line that utilizes play action frequently and moves the pocket to reduce the number of true pass sets. 74.8 PFF grade last year, again compared to Ryan Jensen's 68.7. So right now I'm sitting and I want Ben Jones number 1. Again, I want a vet setter to bolster this offensive line. So right now, Ben Jones is my number one. Brian Allen's my number two. These are guys I want the Dolphins to go after. Ben Jones is a little bit more veteran, and he has more experience, and he's been doing it longer and better. He's the 8th ranked center this past year, 5th ranked center in 2020, and the second best center in 2019. So Ben Jones is now my top-notch guy that I'm looking at, and obviously I want to add like Collins. I want to add. If they go after Armstead and they offer him a contract of like $21 million a year, I'm going to be upset because he's never played a full year, and you can't really rely on that. I'd prefer to go after like La'el Collins or somebody else that you can rely on. I know I said Trent Brown. I know he's not as reliable. You know what I'm saying. So, again, I want that veteran center. So that's where I'm shifting to. Ryan Jensen staying with the Bucs. Let's go for Ben Jones is my number one. Brian Allen is my number two. Tomorrow starts the tampering period at noon. So I will have videos for you guys tomorrow. There's things that happen, like Amari Cooper got traded to the Browns. I wanted Amari, but if you guys notice when I talk about my free agents, I gave you, I think, 3 or 4 wide receivers. Allen Robinson. I gave you Chark Jr., even threw Juju in there, and I threw Amari in there. If they could have made it work with Amari, all right. They gave nothing away to get Amari Cooper, but also you're paying him $20 million this year. So I was like, all right, fine. He's going to Cleveland. Now, it's supposedly Jarvis Landry's out in Cleveland. Wouldn't hate bringing Jarvis back. Would he want to come back to Miami? One person said, I could see Tennessee picking him up. People forget how much he crapped on Ryan Tannehill. So there's a lot of fluidity moving. The last thing I'll talk about in this one is just a lot of people are not liking the impatience. They're not liking the things happening. Carson Wentz getting traded, Russell Wilson getting traded, Amari Cooper getting traded. What other trades are happening? Khalil Mack getting traded, and Dolphins doing nothing, right? 4 or 5 trades happen, which essentially affects 4 or 5 teams. There's another 27 of them. It's late. 27 teams that aren't doing anything either, right? Some are just re-signing their guys, all that stuff. And people are getting impatient. And people are saying, why didn't we do anything? It's going to be like last year when we didn't do anything, and da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. I don't freak out over nothing yet. If you guys noticed last year, I was like, we'll see. Trust the process. We'll see. Trust the process. And then I was like, all right, now you got to do something. So when it gets to the point of freaking out, I'll freak out. But right now I'm not. I did freak out a little bit about Ryan Jensen being gone. But looking at Ben Jones, I know he's 32, going to be 33. I really do like him as a potential target. Brian Allen, he's younger. He's 26, going to be 27. He's a guy you could build with. He can be here for another 5 years, 5-6 years. So if we want to just plug in a good center now to help us build this offensive line and then bring in a successor, I'm going Ben Jones. But if you want to build for the future, you go Brian Allen. But I'll have videos talking about this stuff. And again, I'm going to react to contracts and all that stuff. I will talk about Deshaun Watson wherever he gets traded because it's football news. Just so you know, if there's big breaking news or stuff that doesn't involve the Dolphins, I'll still talk about it if it's big and pertinent. I didn't think Amari Cooper was big and pertinent, and I think Tom Brady was big and pertinent. I actually didn't want to talk about Tom Brady because I hate what he did in retiring, bringing all the fanfare and all the galore and everything to him retiring. Oh, this is it. Even the guy who had his last football touchdown pass or whatever, selling it, having his last one now, and now he comes back. I just thought that was big old poo-poo on everything. But yeah, Jensen's going back. I'll be tweeting out about a lot of stuff. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I tweet out things and I don't have enough space to say anything, and then all of a sudden I come off sounding like a dum-dum. That's why if you're on Twitter and you come here, watch my videos, I get more of a chance to explain, and then I can hold a lavalier. This is a lav that I'm holding. Essentially, you clip it to yourself, but I don't know if this sounds as good as me holding it. Does this sound as good as me holding it? I don't know. You let me know. Then I won't have to hold it, and I can move my hands because I move my hands a lot when I talk. But this is a laugh. Give you a little insider media tech stuff. I'm just wasting time at this point. I love you guys. I will see you with more breaking news when it happens, no matter how late it is. But on that, guys, like usual, stay classy. Offense out.